Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here, and welcome back to another Lazy Sunday review, or welcome if it's the first time you've been seeing one of these. It's actually been a long time, I'm not gonna lie, since I've been doing my individual book reviews, but it's definitely something I'm bringing back at least once per week on Sunday. Maybe a second one on the week because I'm so far behind on reviews, it's not even funny. But today, what we're going to be going over is Great Adaptations, Star-Nosed Moles, Electric Eels, and Other Tales of Evolution's Mysteries Solved by Kenneth Catania. And what this book is all about, as you could probably guess from the subtitle, is kind of going over some like really weird, strange things that animals can do, and kind of like doing like a deep dive into sort of explaining how animals can actually do what they do. And this book focuses mainly on 5 different animals. We got the star-nosed mole, water shrews, tentacled snakes, which are snakes that literally have like these weird tentacle things like on the side of their head. Look them up. Let's see, the electric eel and the zombifying emerald wasp. And those are the 5 main kind of actors in this book. And the author is a professor that gets to do sort of research on all of these animals and kind of like learn all about them and that sort of thing. And this is what the book covers. So definitely a really interesting kind of premise for the book. And I'm going to try and not wiggle as much. I remember I was watching one of my other reviews and I was just like sitting there spinning like the entire time. So I'm like trying my best to not like shake or roll around in my wheelie chair. But anyways, like I said, those 5 subjects are kind of the main talking points in the book. And let me just get my only real kind of gripe or con with the book is it's not like a crazy long book. I think it's about 200 pages or so, something like that. Which, when it's split between 5 different kind of areas of interest, I guess you could say, it doesn't really leave a lot of room sometimes to delve a little bit more deeply, I guess, and kind of give it the coverage I think it might deserve. And I think part of the reason is the first one is definitely the biggest one, which is the star-nosed mole. And it's about, I'd say roughly somewhere around the order of like a third of the book or something. So it definitely kind of like almost like eats into like the other space, like the other 4's kind of like space, I guess, if that makes sense. And I think it's actually a really good length. It was more just like the other ones could have been a little bit longer or something, I think, just to kind of give them a little bit more kind of equal like distribution, because it just felt like a few of them, for example, like the water shrew and stuff, just didn't have as much kind of oomph to it as some of the other ones did. But that aside, that's a fairly minor thing. But I always like to get kind of the bad stuff out of the way so we can end on the good stuff. And I will say that definitely the star-nosed mole was definitely the funnest to kind of like learn about and stuff. And that's because the author, especially with the first one with the star-nosed mole, is kind of, he relates a lot of his kind of personal kind of adventures, I guess, into most of his sort of research and everything. And the star-nosed mole deals a lot with sort of his like undergraduate kind of grunt work and stuff, where he had to actually go out in the field a lot, kind of go actually find them, which is not as easy as one might think. Or actually come to think of it, like water shrews I think are really hard to find, and star-nosed moles, I guess I've never actually seen one in the wild, so I'm assuming I was assuming they were pretty hard. And he kind of goes into detail on all the kind of adventuring he had to actually go about and do to live out in the elements and roughing it in the bush essentially to do it. But it was kind of cool, just like kind of learning about some of the friends he made along the way and different characters and stuff, and kind of just how he actually went about doing this stuff. So like I said, it kind of adds his personal quirkiness as the best way I could like put it, into like kind of all of his experiments and that sort of thing, kind of his like daily life kind of weird stuff kind of going on. And that actually makes the text come alive a little bit more. So it's not dry and stuffy at all. It's definitely the complete opposite, where he does like some goofy shenanigans with some of them. And because of that, the book is definitely very readable. I highly encourage anyone who's kind of like just starting to get into like reading about zoology or reading about animals and are kind of interested in topics like this, definitely give this one a shot, because like I said, the author definitely is really witty, and he knows how to he's a very good storyteller, so he knows how to write pretty well, and it just is really fun to read about. Now I will say, some of the other animals, like I said, they don't have quite as much like kind of meat on them, I guess, compared to the star-nosed mole. And I totally forgot why the star-nosed mole is so cool. Basically, I'll just leave it at, it's kind of the fastest eater because of the what they call the Eimer organs that are on the star on their face. which allows them kind of like to detect like little bugs and stuff like really fast, like really fast, like as in like Guinness record holding fast and that sort of thing. But some of the other things that the other animals are kind of involved with, like the tentacle snake essentially like psychologically tricks animals to basically enter its mouth, so it doesn't have to bother like doing too much with eating. Obviously, the electric eel kind of dealing with its kind of like electromagnetic, aptitude, that sort of thing, kind of paralyzing. And kind of messing with like the neurology and stuff of like different fish and things like that. And then the parasitic emerald wasp, which I've read a little bit before in other works. I was really glad that this book kind of expanded on that quite a bit more. And you have the entire story of how these wasps literally zombify cockroaches and make them essentially work for them and become kind of slaves to like the eggs and stuff once they hatch and whatnot. And kind of morbid, kind of grim and stuff, but definitely really interesting just to see how evolution has worked in these animals to create all these like just like crazy things just sort of going on and whatnot. And like I said, the book is very readable. Highly encourage anyone to check it out if you're into animals. I think you'll learn a lot, especially if you're interested in kind of like these weird kind of like crazy adaptations and stuff like that. Definitely was a lot of fun to read. Definitely check it out if you enjoy reading books on animals. So there you have it. Definitely liked it. Thank you to Princeton University Press. Big shout out. Thank you to them for sending me that title. And let's see, I think, did I actually finish another review? Well, if you made it this far to the end of the video, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Definitely check out my Twitter and Instagram, that sort of stuff. But if you really want to support the channel, definitely check out my Etsy shop. Of course, I forgot to put a sign out. I make, different signs on, like kind of literature and Vikings and philosophy, all kinds of things. It's definitely the best way to support the channels by, looking, just even liking, favoriting items from the shop. But thank you so much for watching. And whether you're reading about, the fastest eaters or animals that like zombify others and stuff, whatever you're reading, remember to read victoriously.